Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. And today I'm going to show you guys how to put up a bunch of negates playing Christsrons. You can put up anywhere from 1, 2, 3, and also most of the time with your hands, your combos vary, and the negations you can put up vary between 3, sometimes even 7. You can hit 8, but that's when you play out your whole hand. So basically an 8 negate is when you really just draw a really nice hand and you end up spitting out your entire hand. And that's also one of the cards being Waterfront. So I'm going to start off with some basics with my Christron list. If you guys want the profile, it's already on my channel. Sometimes people ask for profiles before they actually look to see if I did it already. But it's already on my channel. The only changes I made was swap Steam the Cloak for O-Line, and yeah, that was pretty much it. And I put Jet Synchron in also for needle fiber targets. So I'm going to start off with a 1-card combo, just Genex Undine by itself. So you're going to go ahead and normal summon Undine. This is a 1-card Cherubini or a 1-card needle fiber. If you go into needle fiber, you can still make Cherubini after. So you're going to go ahead and use Undine. And you're going to dump Rosenix and add Genex Controller. Then you're going to go ahead and banish that Rosenix to make a token and link with the token into Link Spider, which is a very important combo piece. This is what makes Genex Undine a 1-card combo by playing Link Spider in your extra deck. You can activate its effect to special summon the Genex Controller and then link with those. And you have your 1-card Needle Fiber with also a Synchro material. And obviously if you drew other Christron cards in your hand, it's even more incredible. So you're going to go ahead and activate Needle Fiber's effect. So there's multiple sequences that you can do. So for example, you can actually special out a level 3 Christron tuner, and you can link these into Cherubini and use Cherubini just to dump anything and just extend more. But if you want to put out flat out negations off of just one Undine, you can also do this. You can summon out a righty driver from your deck or any expendable level 1 tuner. It's got to be level 1 for you to do this, and you can go ahead and basically just synchro with the Undine and the righty driver, and you make your Herald of Arclight. And then on your opponent's turn, you're going to pass. You can use the Needle Fiber to go ahead and special out one of 2 cards. So the sequences vary based on what you want to make. That's the cool thing about the combos, is they do so many different boards. Like you guys saw, you can make Cherubini in addition to that, or you could just leave your board as is, kind of just pass with the Arclight. So what happens is you can summon Desert Locust and you can kind of Dark Law your opponent in the sense that you can banish a card from their hand because the card they discard off Locust gets banished because of Arclight's effect. So you can make your opponent go kind of neg 1 immediately, chaining to an effect, and you'll still have the Omni negation of Heart of the Arclight. And once Arclight leaves, you'll get a 3rd interruption in the form of Ceruvus the Ancient and Descended. So that's a really cool thing that you can do. Also keep in mind that same sequence, like I said, the same sequencing, just summoning out different cards from your extra deck also. So you're going to end the same with your Arclight and your Needle Fiber. And instead of summoning Desert Locust, you can just summon out Quandax. And that way, what you can do is you can tune with these and make your Borload Savage or your Siphon Little Mega. You can, for example, just make Borload Savage, like pretend like that's Savage, because I don't have Savage right now, and then you just equip the Link Spider from your grave. And basically, you get the negation plus the service, so that in case they chain an anchor or an impermanence on your the activation of Warlord Savage, you can go ahead and still use the service to protect him. So they can't just bait his negation, which is really cool. So, and that's just off of one Undine, which is really cool. So it's a 1 card that can be 2 interruptions or a negate plus protection, or you know, you could do like hand loops too. Just really cool because you can do Omega and Desert Locust. With certain hands that are good enough, you can do Omega, Desert Locust, Arclight. It's really, really cool. So you can have like ripping cards out of your opponent's hand, banishing them, and still have that Omni Negate plus that pseudo macro. And it's really impressive that this deck does these combos off of 1 and 2 cards. So we're going to take it a step further. So if you draw Undine plus one of your O-Lions, which is a really good card, you want to play multiple O-Lions. Once I get a 3rd, I'm on the fence. I really just do want to play, honestly, 3. But I only have 2 right now. So if you open Undine plus O-Lion, you can do this also. So you can normal your Undine. You're pretty much going to do the same sequence of Undine. To keep Undine as a 1-card combo, you're always going to want to dump Rosenix. You're going to add your controller, which is theoretically a brick, but this brick being a level 3 and a tuner makes it not even a brick. It's an active combo piece. you'll banish your Rosenix to summon your token, and then you go ahead and link with your token. Summon out Link Spider, activate its effect to special out the Genex controller, and then again you're gonna go ahead and link into Needle Fiber. Also keep in mind that Undine, it can actually be a 1-card Appaloosa, which is really cool, or it can be a 1-card Avermax. So it can be 1 card, 2 negates for Appaloosa. You can make Avermax, because the same thing with like I was saying, you can do Cherubini after Needle Fiber. You can actually make Cherubini and Needle Fiber into Avermax or into Appaloosa, plus with an extra resource, so you basically do Oppo for 3, which is really cool. So Undine is 1 card, many different things when you're playing Christsrons. It's really, really awesome. It's definitely a staple 3 of in the deck. So you're going to be activating Christron Needle Fiber's effect. I know it's Hakufax, but I just call it Needle Fiber. So you could try correct me if you want, but I'm still going to call it Needle Fiber. We're summoning out Jet Synchron. I don't have one, so this is a proxy. And you're going to go ahead and link summon with the Jet Synchron into a, where my boy at? A Link Kuriboh. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and activate Jet Synchron's effect from Grave, discarding the O-Lion, and you're going to summon out a token. So from here, you have a lot of different options. Obviously, you have 2 level 3 monsters that can make Cherubini. You have a level 1 tuner monster, so you can make Herald of the Arclight with either one of these monsters, and you can still make, for example, Oppo. Always, you do want to keep Needle Fiber up on the field to use them on your opponent's turn, so you can get more forms of interaction. So I'm going to show you guys one sequence that can get you a follow-up. Like, just keep in mind, like I said, there's too many different things that you can do right now just with this board that you have. Like, I'm telling you, dude, you can do Arclight with the Jet Synchron in the token, for example. You can make Appaloosa after that, so you can just have 3 negations. Oh, actually 4 negations. But what I would do is, since it's just a 2-card combo, you want yourself to have some form of follow-ups. So what I would do is I would take that token that I summoned, since it's a level 3. And remember, there's so many things. So people can comment, oh, I would do this, I would do that. There's a bunch of things you can do playing Christron. There's a bunch of boards you can make. There's too many different ones. So there's no right or wrong way. It's just whatever your heart leads you to. So I would turn the level 3 token off O-Line and the Undine into Cherubini, and go ahead and activate Cherubini's effect. And what I'll do here is I would actually dump Smiger, and then I would banish Smiger for his effect to go ahead and search for Christron Impact. I'd then go ahead and take the level 1 Jet Synchron, the Cherubini, and the Link Kuriboh, and then I would link into Appaloosa for 3, and then set my Impact and pass. And on your opponent's turn, you can obviously just use your Needle Fiber, banishing it, and you can summon out, you know, your tuner from your deck. So you want to make sure that you have something that you can actually put up an interruption for. Since you got monster negations pretty much on lock, you would want to use the I don't know why I'm going for my deck. I'm over here. It's because I'm trying to like explain things as I'm going. What you're trying to do is actually summon out, my bad, you're trying to summon out Quandax. I apologize for that. But what you're trying to do basically is get some spell or trap negations. So you're going to go ahead and activate the Impact and use its effect to bring back the Smiger from the Banish Zone. And also keep in mind, instead of going for that, you can also just summon out the Rosenix. So it's totally up to you. This is just a 2-card combo, which is really nutty. So you could summon Don Draxter, or if you had the links in your grave, which you do, if you have a Borreload Savage in your extra deck, you can synchro on your opponent's turn using the Quandax and the Rosenix that was banished, brought back off Impact, and you could summon out, like I said, the Omega or the Borreload Savage Dragon. So just make sure you want to have something that can interact with spells and traps, so that Oppo is not your only card. So this could be Omega or the Borreload Savage, and you can go ahead and equip the Cherubini. So you have basically 4 negations just off of 2 cards. And this is playing a non-meta deck. Christron by any shape or form is not meta. Also, it's so slept on that every Christron video I do barely gets any views. No matter how good the content is, no matter how hard I try to push how good this deck is, nobody really cares about it. But the funny thing is, it really does wax a lot of people. I've talked with Christrons, it's crazy. So if you add that same hand, if you open Waterfront in this deck, you're pretty much guaranteed to get out your Gamma Seal, because this deck spams so much, it's so easy to make Skull Dread. So if you just add a Waterfront to that same combo, it's pretty nutty, because this is where you're going to put up a ton of negations. So you're going to go ahead and normal summon Undine. Before I do that, I guess I'll show you guys a quick little 1-card combo too. I'll keep those there. So I'll show you guys a 1-card Needle Fiber as well, Righty Driver. You can go ahead and just normal summon it. So let's try to knock out as many combos as I can do. Obviously I can't do all of them at once. So when you bring out the Lefty Driver off Right Driver, it becomes a level 3. If you have a bunch of extenders in your hand, you can just start your combo sequence up with Hair to the Arclight. If you know that basically the Macrocosmos / Dark Law effect won't hurt you, then you can do that. But what I normally do when I have this in a weaker hand is I'll just immediately link those into Needle Fiber. And I'll activate Needle Fiber's effect. And the cool thing is you can do a lot with Needle Fiber, right? Obviously, because this is a 1-card Needle Fiber, so there's a bunch you can do. You can summon out Citri so that you can use Citri and this to summon your level 4 Synchro on your opponent's turn, and then you can tag Needle Fiber out into another tuner like Desert Locust, for example. You can also just bust out. Where's it at? I'm trying to find it. Jet Synchron. And then you can link that into Link Karibo. Discard a card to summon back the Jet Synchron. And then you have a 1-card Appaloosa for 3, which is really cool. Or also a 1-card Saryuja Skull Dread. So if you open Righty Driver plus Waterfront, that's guaranteed Skull Dread plus Gamma Seal, which is just incredible in itself. Because you're going to get enough counters to actually search out your... if you pay attention to how many cards were sent from the field to grave, it's a lot. So you're pretty much going to load up your Waterfront, special out your Gamma Seal, and this is a 2-card combo that's going to get you basically 3 Omni Negates. Just that alone, so just wanted to point that out real quick. But anyways, going back to the combo that I was trying to show you guys. So we have Waterfront. And this can be insane if you open extenders too. Because this is basically the only real extender in your hand. You're doing a lot of this work off of just the Undine. So you're going to activate the Waterfront first, then normal your Undine. You're going to do the same sequence with Undine almost every time, unless your hand was already that incredible. Dump Rosenix and add Controller. And then you're going to go ahead and do the same thing. I might as well just grab these same extra deck cards that I'm using to make things faster, so that the video doesn't be too long. I'm trying to get as many as I can fit. We're already 12 minutes in. So you're going to go ahead and banish the Rosenix to make the token, link the token into Link Spider, activate Link Spider to special summon the Genex controller, and then you're going to go ahead and go into your Needle Fiber. And I like that this is a Christron deck, so it's showing you how amazing this card is. I'm not going to really do the dice because this is going to go to 5 regardless, so I'm just going to put 5 on it eventually when I know I get there. But yeah, it's cool that Needle Fiber can actually be abused in his own deck, so it makes it a bit more admirable. Even if you're losing to a Needle Fiber combo, you can't be mad because this is his deck that he belongs to. So you're going to go ahead and summon out your Jet Synchron. And then you're going to go ahead and Link Summon into Link Karibo. And you're going to activate Jet Synchron, summoning it by discarding the O-Line. Bring out your token again. And then you're going to go ahead and take this and the Undine. Oh yeah, so keep in mind, remember that there's so many different things you can do. You've got more than enough resources for Skull Dread. So you can actually just summon Skull Dread right here. Leave the Needle Fiber up. But I want to get the Trap Impact so I can have another card that can be sent from the field to the grave to put more counters on Waterfront. So we're going to link these 2 level 3s in the Cherubini. And we're going to go ahead and activate Cherubini. We're going to dump the Smiger. You can just banish the Smiger at the impact. I understand that this deck's susceptible to Nibiru. There's a lot of decks that are susceptible to Nibiru. So, yeah, before you even drop that comment, we all know that Nibiru can clap decks. So we're going to link these into Skull Dread. Obviously, it's been at 5, you know, so we're going to go ahead and search for our Gamma Seal. Special summon the Gamma Seal from hand. Set your impact, and you're going to pass turn. And what's going to happen is you can tag the Needle Fiber out into a Quandax. So once Gamma Seal does his first negate, this is going to drop down to 3 counters. So that's 1 negate. Then you can chain to his effect, tag the Needle Fiber out into Quandax, activate Impact, targeting the banished Rosenix and special summon it from the banish zone. And that's going to send from the field to the grave, so this is going back to up to 4. Then you can use Gameciel's Negate and Banish effect, which is an Omni Negate and Banish. So that's 2 negates. Then you can synchro with these on resolution of his effect or chaining into Omega or Savage. So obviously Savage is ideal because that's just more negation, so you can just equip the Cherubini. And that's going to be a 3rd Omni Negate, but also you're putting 2 more counters onto your Waterfront, which brings it back up to 4. So you get 5 negations. Basically, you get 5 Omni Negates because you can remove 2 more from Waterfront. And that's if you don't let anything on your opponent's field go to the grave. Because if your opponent plays a starter card like Dragon Shrine playing against Rockets, obviously you're just going to let that resolve so you can put more counters to your Waterfront. If they activate Quick Launch, you're going to let that resolve. Same thing with Sound Migrate. Certain cards, you're just going to let them, like if they normal summon and then link, you're not going to negate the Balinks or anything. So just keep in mind, even though it's only 5 negate and banishes, which, you know, it's not like that's not a big deal. That's an entire hand, basically. But also keep in mind that it can be even more if you just let your opponent play a couple cards to get more counters on the Waterfront. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. And what's even more nutty about this is if you have extenders, it gets even worse. So this deck really is awesome, you guys. Like, honestly, you guys are super sleeping on Christsrons. I'm like the only person I know that's this dedicated to this deck. This is in my top 5 faves. It's a really awesome deck. It's very, very slept on. High ceiling too. So again, basically if you open one of your level 3 tuner extenders like the Psychic Wilder or Arborea. So let's say you open Arborea and then one of your Christrons. So if you open Smiger, it's better so that you don't have to dump Smiger off the Cherubini. So if you open these, now this is basically like a hand now. Like this is a hand. So you can call this kind of a test hand, but I'm just showing you guys what happens if you open that combo, but like with extenders, right? So you want like tuner extenders, you want like one of your 3 Arboreas or one of the Wilders. Now the Wilders, I have Tracers in place of Wilders because I can't afford the Wilders right now. But yeah, so you're going to go ahead and activate your Waterfront, do the same sequence with Undine, and then we'll get over to more combos after, but this one's really, really cool because there's so many different variations of it, just based on the composition of your hand. The sequencing doesn't naturally change that much, it's just you add more and more to it based on, you know, like I said, the composition of your hand. So you're going to, oh, there we go, dump Rosenix and add controller. Whoops, that's too many Rosenix. Banish the Rosenix. And I'm not going to put counters on Waterfront because it's going to go to 5 no matter what. Summon the Link Spider, the special this. And then you're going to link into your Needle Fiber. I've been Needle Fiber doing this pretty much the same thing. When you're trying to link spam, you're just going to use Needle Fiber on Jet. Link Jet into the Link Karibo. And then you're going to use Jet's Grave Effect, discard the O-line. And then you're going to bring out your token again off the O-line. That's why I can't wait to get my 3rd O-line, because I'm definitely playing 3, because every hand can make Needle Fiber. So if you have a hand that can make Needle Fiber and an O-line, you have Needle Fiber, Cherubini, Extenders combo. It's just crazy. This deck's super awesome. And it's like a combo deck that you have to respect. So we can go ahead and just drop the Arborea right now, because, you know, there's already there to a zone that it points to. So a really cool thing that we can do also, the Jet Synchron in this, we can go ahead and just tune that out. Actually, no. Let me keep the Arborea for a second, because as I'm thinking more and more about it, I want to make sure that I'm not locking myself out with the Arc Light. So just follow the sequencing. So let's go ahead and do this. So we have that. That's a level 1 tuner. This is a level 3 token, because I'm kind of sleepy. So what we're going to go ahead and do here, yeah, actually, I think I do want to do that. I think I really do want to do that. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and drop the Arborea, and we'll go ahead and link the Arborea and the Undine. Or better yet, the Arborea and the token. Why not, right? Just get the token out of there. Into Cherubini. And you're going to go ahead and activate Cherubini. Yeah, now I think of it, that's going to benefit me better. Not making the Arc Light mid or late combo, because it can hurt you sometimes. You want to make Arc Light last. sometimes. But if you have a good enough hand that you don't need to resolve the Sulfefinir, then you can totally make Arclight just to counter hand traps. Dump this Fern and banish it for cost to search for Sulfefinir. Now you're gonna go ahead and activate Sulfefinir by discarding Smiger, summon him, and he's gonna destroy himself. And what you'll do here is you'll go ahead and summon out the Christsrons Citry. You can go ahead and make the Arclight now with the Synchron and the Undine. This is definitely at 5. So, you know. And I guess Citry doesn't really matter because we're actually going to link. So we can just drop another copy of this one for follow-ups. If you want to have more synchro plays, you can leave the Citry because that can make Dragster off Sulfefinir. And you can obviously, you know, just make your Scoldred with these. And then you can use that to search Cheruvis. But nah, I'm going to do it this way. Because I think that's better just for a better follow-up. And so I'm not wasting tuners. So we can go ahead and search for our Gamma Seal because this has been maxed out. He's somewhere up in here. He probably at the bottom. Yep, second to last. Search for our Gamma Seal. You'll take all of these. And you'll link into your Scoldred. Special off the Gamma Seal. And then you're going to go ahead and activate the effect of Smiger. So this is really cool too because you're going to have your own ways to put counters on Waterfront regardless of whether you want to rely on your opponent to do it. So this is going to be your ending board. It's going to get more impressive, get more impressive. So obviously you're going to set the impact. On your opponent's turn, you're going to want to try to use Gamma Seal first before you do anything. So you're going to negate one of their first actions, negate and banish. And then on res, you're going to Needle Fiber. So you can go ahead and Needle Fiber and Chain Impact. So that way you're going to summon out your Rosenix. And then you're going to bring out your Quandax. And then when the impact hits the grave, this is going to go back up to 4. And, you know, you can wait for your opponent to commit to another action. Then you can just use the Arclight to negate. That's an Omni Negate, so then the Waterfront's going to go back up to 5. And you're going to use his effect to search for Cheruvis, the Ancient and Ascendant, which really helps this deck too because sometimes your Chokevoids can be your normal summon. Like if your opponent Valors or Imperms the Undine, for example, that can just really hurt. So get the Cheruvis. And then you can go ahead and use Gamma Seal again to negate. I should have, so right now we're at 2 negates, I believe. Bring that, yeah, 2 negates. So when you use Gamma Seal, you can go ahead and chain the Quandax. So you can negate and banish, bringing that back down to 3. And then, I'm sorry, on resolution, you can activate the Quandax. That's smarter. And then again, you're gonna summon. This should just be Savage. I don't have Savage right now, but you're gonna go ahead and get the Savage, and you can equip the Cherubini. So he gets the 2 counters, and then you know the. Boom. So you're at 3 because of the Gamma Seal. And because those 2 cards were sent from the field to the grave, your field spell goes back up to 5. So then you can negate and banish again. And then that becomes 4. Obviously, Cheruvis counts. So that's 5. The Borlo Savage counts. So that's 6. You remove 2, bring Waterfront down. That's 7 Omni Negates. I'm sorry, that's 6 Omni Negates. If you let any action commit, your opponent let any one of their cards go from the field to the grave, you get 1 counter, so you actually get 8 forms of interaction, 7 of which were Omni Negates. That's pretty amazing, considering the fact that it's Christsrons, and you just busted out 8 negates. It's like you're playing Hail to Perfections, or it's like the Mist Valley Apex Avion lock, except you're doing it with a really, really fun, cool deck that not a lot of people put respect on. Honestly, nobody really respects this deck. And it's actually all good because that means I get to be like the Christron guy. So now I'm going to show you guys some really cool combos where you just open a bunch of extenders. And this deck plays similar to Warriors back in the day where you just any hand wanted to make Ice Hold. Well, basically, you just want your hands to just make Cherubini and Needle Fiber. So let's just say you open just Gallus, you know. And obviously Undine's like one of the stronger normal summons, so let's just say you have one of your weaker normal summons in the form of Righty Driver. And let's say you have like any Christron card, preferably one of the monsters, so let's say you have Smyger. So this could be a really, really nice combo. So we could take the Chronograph Sorcerer out of the picture, and you could just show you with a 3-card combo what this can do. So you're obviously Gallus. You prefer not to mill one of your... As a matter of fact, because this is more risky, and I don't want to do that RNG thing for the combo sequence, this could just be what should be the Wielder. So that's better, so that way I don't have to tell you guys, for your combo to work, you have to mill the right card, right? So this is a better level 3 extender, or it could be the Arboreal. So you start off with the Righty Driver, and you'll summon out Lefty. But if it is Gallus, you can actually play through a hand trap and still make a Needle Fiber, which is really, really cool. So the deck does play through hand traps when you have a good hand. If you have a bad hand, you might lose to a couple. But normally it does play through a few. Summon out Lefty Driver. What the cool thing is it becomes a level 3. So this card becomes live, so you'll special the tracker. Link these two into Cherubini. 2 level 3s in the Cherubini. And then you can go ahead and activate Cherubini's effect. You can dump the this Fern. Banish this Fern to add Self-Effener. Link these two into Needle Fiber. You can go ahead and activate Needle Fiber. So you can do quite a few things. You can make, so for one, you can do Jet Synchron and do the same thing. So I'm going to try to speed through that one real quick. Let me check the timer because this might have to be the last one. Just because, yeah, we're getting so deep in. So you can do Link Revo, discard the Self-Effener to summon that, summon Jet. And you can link all those into an Appaloosa. Discard this, summon the Self-Effener, pop him, summon the tree. You have Appaloosa for 3 plus the impact plus a FA Don Dragster or a Borreload Savage, so it's basically 4 negates, which is really cool. Like I said, this deck makes negates. Or instead of summoning out the Jet Synchron, you can use the Needle Fiber to summon out where that boy at? Christsrons Citry. And you can go ahead and reveal Self-Effener, discard the Smyger, summon, pop his self. And then you can special out. Where's the level 2 at? Dang, I'm trying to find you, Turtle. There you go, special out the Turtle. And then you can banish the Smyger. There's a ton of things you can do with this, but the video is getting towards the end, so I'm going to have to just show you guys this one. So this will be your ending board, so you'll just have the impact, this. There's so many interactions you can do in your opponent's turn. So for one, you can use the Citry to target this. Special sync, they get banished. Go into your Don Dragster. Right? You have impact too, so another cool thing is you can impact for, you know, for example, your level 3, your level 5, level this, and then use him. So for example, if you play Formula Synchron, you can impact for your Self-Effener and summon another level 7, you can Black Rose. But what I would do here is I would use the impact for a follow-up. You use the Needle Fiber to tag out into the Desert Locust, make your opponent discard a card, use Desert Locust to Synchro. You can make Borreload Savage or Omega, so you can do Omega if you just want a hand loop. So you're basically, no matter what, you're taking 3 cards out of your opponent's hand, and you also get a follow-up of impact. Keep in mind, you can also do really cool Synchro plays off the impact by using the Quandax, the Turtle. So if you add it up, you have 4, 6. You can make Trishula on your opponent's turn because you can impact out for one of your level 3 Christrons. So that way you can basically just synchro all of these into Trishula on your opponent's turn. Or you, like, there's just too much, and we're kind of out of time. But there's still so much that you guys can see that I could show you. But honestly, I recommend that you guys also check out my other Christron content. Look at the deck profiles and stuff. Because you guys learn that while this deck is very difficult to pilot, and it took me like a long time, I had Christsrons for quite some time, for multiple years before I started mastering them. It rewards you for being patient. It rewards you for learning how to play the deck. And I will say this deck does take a lot of skill, a lot of sequencing. And even if you don't put out the most ridiculously overpowered boards turn 1, this deck's very reactive and it can synchro on your opponent's turn, so you can actually play control. Like that hand loop interaction that I was showing you guys, where you could do Omega plus the Desert Locust and the Dawn Dragster, or you can even do Omega plus the Desert Locust and then a Black Rose after that. Or you could do the Trishula plus the Dawn Dragster. You know, it's crazy. There's so much stuff that you guys can do, but we're pretty much out of time, you guys. So God bless you guys. I'm gonna say a quick prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Jesus. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth, just as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread, Lord, and please forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power forever. In the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Thank you, Yahweh. Amen. Alright, you guys, this is wild. Go ahead and let me know what you think about Christsrons. Have I changed your opinion?